Morning students. Today in this lecture we will discuss about the basic introductory part of spread spectrum technology, and we will see how our frequency hopping spread spectrum techniques will work and what is the role of CDMA technology in the wireless communication system. So first of all we will start from the basic introductory part of the spread spectrum modulation techniques. So as we have to know that before transmitting a signal, we will provide a secure communication, and for securing our data, we will opt the spread spectrum modulation technique. So when we are talking about the spread spectrum, as the name suggests, we will spread the spectrum of our input signals, and for spreading our spectrum, we will use the pseudo noise sequences. So when we multiply our signals with a, suppose there is a signal and your signal will be narrowband signals. Okay, so now you want to send your trans signals, this signal you want to transmit it. So what you have to done, you want to spread the spectrum of your signals, and when you are spreading the spectrum of your signals, the power level will be decreases. So what is the features? First of all, band of signals occupy a narrow range of frequency, power density is high, spread of energy is low and concentrated. Though the feature are good, these signals are prone to interference. So now what will happen? You have to spread your signals, means your frequency spectrum will be increased and your power level will be decreased. So how you can spread your signals? Because when you spread your signals, so such type of signals, since the power level of these signals are below the noise level, okay, so such type of signals cannot be detected by any persons. Only that persons can be detected which know the basic code of that particular signal, in which you have to multiply your low narrowband signals. So these type of signals is called as a pseudo noise signals, and when we multiply our signals with a PN sequence signals, it will be spreaded, and these spreaded signals cannot be easily detected by anyone. So band of signals occupy a wide range of frequency, power density is very low, energy is widespread. So with these features, the spread spectrum signals are highly resistant to the interference or jamming. Since multiple users can share the same spread spectrum bandwidth without interfering with one another, these can be called as a multiple access technique. So apply a spread spectrum technique. We simply inject the corresponding spread spectrum code somewhere in the transmitting chain before the antenna, and this injection is called as a spreading operations. The effect is to diffuse the information in a larger bandwidth. So you can remove the spread spectrum code at a point in the receive chain before data retrieval. So a de-spreading operations reconstitutes the information into its original bandwidth. So you can see here in transmission chain, there is the input data, and you have to provide it the spread spectrum code, and by multiplying your input data by spread spectrum code, and now we are transmitting through the RF output. There is a RF link, and in the receiver part we receive these signals and again multiply with the spread spectrum code, and output data will be received. So this is the same code which we have to multiply at the transmitter sections, we have to again multiply at the receiver section. Bandwidth effects of the spreading operations. The spread spectrum modulation is applied on top of a conventional modulation such as BPSK or direct conversion. One can demonstrate that all other signals not receiving the spread spectrum code will remain as they are, that is unspreaded. So what about the, you can see in this here, this is our signals, and when you multiply these signals with a PN sequence signals, it will be spreading. And spread spectrum modulation is applied on a top of a conventional modulation such as BPSK or direct conversion. So one can demonstrate that all other signals not receiving the spread spectrum code will remain as they are, that is unspreaded. So now when you have to again demodulate it, this type of signals, so what you have to done, you have to again multiply these signals with the PN sequence signals, and then we will get the original signals. So this is the despreading operations at the receiver sections. Here a spread spectrum demodulation has been top of the normal demodulation operations. So that is used in our. Now we will see the basic. There are two types of spread spectrum technique. So first one is the direct sequence spread spectrum technique, and another one is the frequency hopping spread spectrum techniques. So in frequency hopping spread spectrum technique is a method of transmitting radio signal by rapidly switching a carrier among many frequency channels and using a PN sequence known to the both transmitter and receiver. The data signal is modulated with a narrowband carrier signals that hops in a random but predictable sequence from frequency to frequency as a function of time over a wide band of frequency. So it is used as a multiple access method in frequency hopping code division multiple access. Now FHSS block diagram. So that is the frequency hopping. So first of all, there is a input data and there is a channel encoder. After then there is a modulator, and in modulator we have to provide a spreading code. So and that spreading code is basically PN sequence code. And now after modulation we have to transmit these data through the channels, and at the receiver sections we have to again multiply with the PN sequence generator, which is the same as we have to use in transmitter sections. And after demodulation we have to again done the channel decoding, and then output data we will receive. So that is a basically PN noise generator. Here three flip-flops are used and there is a logic, and by using this logic we can generate the at random generation of our PN generator. So FF1, FF2, FF, so these are the flip-flops, output sequence, and this is again input to the first flip-flop. Basically, these PN sequence is used to spread the bandwidth of modulated signal to a larger transmission bandwidth. So now we will discuss about the types of FHSS. There are two types of frequency hopping: slow frequency hopping and spread spectrum, and the fast frequency hopping spread spectrum. Now we will see how we will select the frequency pattern. So first of all, we can see this is the 3-bit combination. Okay. So by using an every 3-bit combination, so that is the basically 0 to 7. And now according to that we can allot the different frequencies to this combination. So 200 kilohertz, 300 kilohertz, 400 kilohertz, 500 kilohertz, all these frequencies table, and we have two particular combinations. So this is the k bit pattern, and how we can use the 101 the selection. So here again we will use the bandwidth sharing technique. So what about the bandwidth sharing technique? If we are working on the FDM, frequency division multiplexing, so complete channel is divided into the different band of frequency. So we have to divide total frequency into the sub bands, and that is the f1, f2, f3, and f4. So these are the basic four bands. But when we are working on the FHSS, these bands is also divided in the time slots, just for a particular time period, and after then we will switch to the another frequency. So there are also FHSS is also based on the time slot. Now we will focus on the slow. What about the slow FHSS and fast FHSS? So if we are talking about the slow FHSS and we want to transmit our data, so I think there is a hopping. So what about the hopping? Change in frequency, because we have allotted a number of frequencies to the combinations, and when we transmit these signals, so what will happen here? When you transmit these signals, so your signals will be transmitted. So if we are working on the slow FHSS, means after 4 to 5 symbols, their frequency will be changed. So that is called as a slow FHSS. But when your frequency will be changed in the only one duration of pulse, so there is a very less time we have to allot it. So if that frequency maybe changes, okay. So now what will happen here? You have to allot it. Just you can see here, these are the horizontal different colors indicated to the different frequencies. Okay, so now here these frequencies again further divided in the vertical slot, and in particular frequency are facing to the different frequency, and according to that our coding technique is done. So now what will happens? You can see here, these are the frequencies. So your first signal, if you want there is a signal, it will process the four different types of frequency, again, again, again. So that is a basically division part, ki how we can divide the complete channel frequency into the sub channel part. Suppose we are talking about the slow FHSS. Okay, in slow FHSS, one symbol, during the one symbol or in one frequency we can transmit the number of symbols, and after certain period these frequency will be changed. And these are the very slow FHSS, yes, very slow frequency hopping signals, because in this type of signals, frequency hopping signals, we have to require the change in frequency. Means after two or three symbols there is change in frequency, means in particular one frequency we can transmit the number of signals according to our requirement. So suppose you are transmitting the five hopes per second, year, etc., etc. So that is based on that key. Yes, when we are working on the slow, means in one particular frequency many data are transmitted, and after some time period there may be change in frequency. So that is the slow FHSS. But in fast FHSS, these frequencies are changing multiple times due to the so what you have done, if you want to transmit your data and your data don't know the exact frequency, and multiple times your frequency are changes, so that is based on the security features. So if you have to transmit more than symbols, okay, in one same frequency, so there is no problem faced by the users. So only thing is that if you have to maintain the synchronization, you have to maintain the, these things. Why we are opting if you want to transmit a one symbols, and in duration of one symbols there may be two or three times your frequency will be varied. So this system is still complicated because here we are frequency changing the frequency in particular one time period or one symbol. There are two or three times frequency will be changed. Now the uses of the FSHH. Military use Bluetooth, walkie-talkie and other radios. Here we are using the FSHS. Now we will move to the military use and why military are interested in the spread spectrum technique. So spread spectrum signals are highly resistant to the jamming unless the advantage has very good of the spreading spectrum characteristics. So military radios use cryptographic techniques to generate channel sequence under the control of a transmission security key that the sender and receiver share in advance. So by itself, frequency hopping provide only limited protection against the environmental effects. So there is basically the frequency hopping provides only limited protection. Most modern military frequency hopping radio also employ. So this is a radio which we are used in very and very before time. And what will happens here? The modern military frequency hopping radio also employ the separate encryption devices such as the KY100. So we have to also provide the security device for this. Now, other radios are also working. Single channel ground and airborne radio system. So VHF FM band from 30 to 87 megahertz, 25 kg channels. So we have working on the 2.5K channels. That is a totaling number of channels is 2320 channels at a time, and there are number of hops that is a 111 hops per second. So you can see in 1 second so many number of hops are occurred. So Bluetooth is also example of our FHSS. So adaptive frequency hopping spread spectrum AFH improves the empowers or improve resistance to radio frequency. So now what will happens here? Bluetooth technology it improves the resistance to radio frequency interference by avoiding the crowded frequencies in the hopping sequence. And this sort of adaptive transmission is easier to implement with the FHSS. So if we are working on the UHF range 2.4 gigahertz frequency, and there are the 79.1 megahertz channels, 1600 hops in a second, 50 hertz overheated from Hemming code. Now walkie-talkie. Some walkie-talkie that employ frequency hopping spread spectrum technique have been developed for unlicensed use on 900 megahertz band. Several such radios are marketed under the name Extreme Radio Services. So Motorola has developed a business banded license free radio distance system for using the walkie-talkie. So there are also a professional equipment and they are at presently working in our. Now we will switch to the direct sequence spread spectrum technique. So that is the DSSS. So each bit represented by multiple bits using spreading code. Spreading code spreads signals across wider frequency. So in proportion to the number of bits used, 10-bit spreading code spreads the signal across 10 times bandwidth of 1 bit code. And one method is to combine input with spreading code using XOR input bit 1 intervals. So that this can be implemented. So that is a combined with input with the code. So what type of code we are opting? Input bit 1 inverts the spreading code bit, and input 0 bit doesn't alter spreading code bit. So that is a basically features. So data rate equal to the original spreading code. So now we will see the performance. So now you can see here, this is a signal, data signal A. Now there is a PN sequence generator, and after that we will receive the spreaded signal. And no one can detect this type of signal. So since you have done in the transmitter section changes in here, so same thing is also applicable to the receiver part. You have to demodulate, despread your signals. So once you have to spread your signals, again you have to despread your signals and then add this end to the receiver part. Now we will direct sequence spread spectrum transmitter. So that is basically a method which we have to work out. Yeah, how you can work out the signals. So a little bit understanding of DSSS, we can much comfortable in the another sections of this. So we have to the modulator and DS spreader, and again what type of PN sequence you are using, that will be the generated here also. Same thing is happen at the demodulator section. Again you have to multiply with the PN sequence code, and after multiplication we can again receive our original message signal after demodulation. So if you are applying the direct sequence spread spectrum technique to the BPSK, so you can see that this is the implementation of our BPSK signal on the carriers. So now that was here is the your signal. You have to spread it your signals, and so what will happen? This is the original signal. This is the bandwidth of the PN sequence channel, and this is the combined effect of both the signals. Now we will see what about the PN sequence generator. So M sequences. So these code DSSS code will be treated as a PN sequence, and how we can generate. Actual PN sequence is a random process. Okay. So that is basically resembles the random sequences of bit with a flat noise like spectrum. So this sequence appears to have a random pattern, but in fact can be recreated by using the shift register structure in figure 4. So that is a m barabar 4, and we are using a polynomial x4 x3 plus 1 and initial state 1100. So you can see here, this is the diagram. So shift, that is basically where plus and circle around it, it represents the modulo 2 additions, and using this scheme the initial state is only needed to generate exactly the same sequence of length, so that is equal to 2 to the power m minus 1, and the only forbidden state in all zeros since the register. So you can see here we can generate here x to the power 4, x to the power 3, and this is the x to the power 0. So what type of polynomials we are taking, and according to that we will give the feedback to that our output signals. So at initial register, initial value 0011, and after shifting, when you have to shift, there may be the change in value. So 000, complete 0, 0100, 0010, 1001, and 1100. So these are the particular sequence after first shifting, second shifting, according to that. So final sequence will look like this. So if we are calculating these values, we can find out this. After the 15th shift, the values on registers will be again the starting seat. So properties of M sequence. So basically we will see the properties of the M sequence. So period 2 to the power M minus 1. So that is a time period. After this number of 1 and minus 1, the sequences will start to repeat since starting symbols will be same. So we will here we will see the autocorrelation functions. So that is basically depend on the. Now we will also consider the previous sequences what we have to take in the previous. Now we will move to the gold sequences. So gold sequences help generate some more sequences out of a pair of n sequences, giving now many more different sequences to have multiple users. And gold sequences are based on the preferred pairs M sequences. So polynomials are this format: 1 plus x square x4 plus x5. So we can use the polynomials. Now this is the example of gold sequence generator and using the one preferred pair of M sequences. So that we are using the same sequences. The M sequences give only one sequence of length 2 raised to power 5 minus 1, and by combining two of these sequences we can combine up to 31st 2 to the power 5 minus 1 plus the 2 M sequences themselves. So generate 33 sequences. So how you can put here 33 sequences that can be used to spread different input frequencies. The M sequence pair plus the 2 raised to power n minus 1 gold sequences from the 2m plus 1 available sequences to use in DSSS. The wanted property about gold codes is that they are balanced. Now we will little bit focus to the CDMA. What about the code division multiple access technique? So as we have to already seen in DSSS, that is just like a spread spectrum technique. So CDMA is a channel access method used by various radios. The communication technology CDMA optimize the use of available bandwidth. Why we are using the CDMA optimize the use of available bandwidth, and it transmits over the entire frequency range and doesn't limit the user frequency range. So it is used as the access method in many mobile phone standards. So what about the CDMA technology? Now we will see here the what about the CDMA technology. So you can see here in this CDMA is used in the commercial cellular communication to make better use of radio spectrum to compare to the other technology. And this technology was used as a military technology for first time in the World War II by the English associates to break the German attempts of jamming transmission. CDMA technology is known as a spread spectrum techniques. So that is in CDMA technology we are used in commercial cellular communication to make better use of radio spectrum. This technology was used as a military technology for first time in the World War II by the English associates to break the German attempts of jamming transmission. So CDMA technology is known as a spread spectrum technique which allows many users to occupy the same time and frequency allocation in a given band space. So individual conversations are encoded with the help of the pseudo noise digital sequence. So now you can see here how we can divide the our code. So channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. So here we can see every what type of signals you want to transmit or your signals are classified. So every signals are given a unique code. Okay, so CDMA in which each channel is assigned a unique code which is orthogonal to the codes used by the other ones. So orthogonality will be maintained by the person because we are working on the different codes. So that is a forward link, a composite signal which is transmitted to all users. This is also a wireless signal and differentiated by codes, and these are differentiated by the code words. Now CDMA belongs to the two basic categories: CDMA, synchronous CDMA, and asynchronous CDMA. So if you are talking about the synchronous CDMA is defined as exploiting the mathematical properties orthogonally between the vectors. The digital modulation method is analogous to the one used in simple radio transceiver. For example, let's us consider a binary string 1011 which is represented by a vector 1011, and these vectors can be multiplied by taking their dot product and sum of products with respect to the components. If dot product is 0, then the two vectors are said to be orthogonal. So we can see here. Now there is a asynchronous. So there we can use the if mobile to base links are not exactly matched, the particularly due to the handset's mobility, a different approach is required. And this type of CDMA is not mathematically possible to create signature sequences, which are orthogonal from arbitrarily random starting points and thus make use of the code space. The PN random or pseudo noise sequences are used in the asynchronous CDMA system, and this CDMA system offers a key advantage in the flexible allocation of resources. Asynchronous CDMA is best suited to a mobile network wherein large number of transmitters produce relatively small amount of traffic at regular intervals. Now, CDMA is a form of direct sequence spread spectrum techniques, and this spread spectrum communication can be illustrated by using the key element, multiple axes. So, the use of a spreading codes which is independent from each user, along with synchronous reception, will allow the multiple users to access the same channel. Use of bandwidth. So, CDMA, like other spectrum technology, uses a wider bandwidth than the other. So needed for large bandwidth requirement is needed for our transmission, and this results in a number of advantages, including an increased immunity to interference and multiplier use access. Level of security: in order to receive the data, the receiver synchronize the code to recover the data, and the use of independent data and synchronous or reception allow multiple users to access the same frequency band at the same time. Now, what about the advantage of CDMA technology? So, we have to also know what is the advantage. So, the use of CDMA offers the several advantages. That's why CDMA technology is adopted by many of the 3G cellular communication system. And the CDMA technology in mobile communication possesses so many advantages. The following advantages are few of them. Okay. So you can just see कि why we are working on the CDMA technology. There are the many mobiles are using, and all the mobiles are working on the different code words. So they are working on the 450 megahertz frequency, 900 megahertz frequency, and 15 megahertz frequencies. They are all working on different frequencies. So they are not easily interfere to each other. So what will happen in CDMA technology? Basically, in CDMA technology, we are allotted a different code to the different users. Now, how you can improvement in capacity? So one of the chief claim of CDMA is that it gives significant improvement in network capacity. In CDMA technology, data and voice packets are separated using the codes and then transmitted by using a wire long of frequencies. So that is a basically very wide range of frequencies. Because more space is allocated for data in CDMA, this standard has become the attractive for the 3G high-speed mobile internet use. Now, what about the improvement in handover and handoff? So, what is the handover and what about the handoff? So, you will have to learn about. So, by using the CDMA technology, it is easy for a terminal to communicate with the two base stations at once. In case of this, old link is to be broken when new one is family established. This provides improvement in terms of reliability of and CDMA technology. So what about the basically if you are working so that there is improvement in terms of the reliability of handover or handoff from. So in this devices we are working on the soft handoff. CDMA technology has been used in 3G telecommunication system in one from or one another. So that is the basically this provides. So if we are working on the 3G telecommunication service, so there is CDMA technology has been used, and reliability of handover will be increases by using the CDMA technology, and CDMA has become the successful in every aspect, and it has enabled the improvements needs to be gained over the previous technology of 2G system. So we have to also work out on the 2G system. Now these are the applications. So we will see here what about the applications. So due to inherent advantage of CDMA over TDMA and FDMA, such as user capacity, soft handoff, and the security, these features are very important in our CDMA technology, and emerges as a winner in the battle of a wireless technology and the services. CDMA allows for better development and the use of broadband devices such as wireless laptop modems, GPS system units, so on. Now, CDMA is considered as the highest mode of wireless communication and is responsible for giving fast and safe mode of area. Exchanging such as 3G, recently CDMA has been merged with the GSM technology to give a high-speed 4G or LTE internet services. So there is little bit mouses. Yeah, this is a final diagram. These by using the CDMA technology, you can approach in different parts of the world, and no signals will be interfered to each other, because every signal is allotted to a different CDMA code. So you can code is also generated. There is a flow one minus one minus one, one minus one one, one minus one minus one, one one. C code is a one one minus 1, 1, 1, 1. So this is the example in which we have to multiply user A, user B, user C, and we are using the different CDMA code for the each channel or source. Now this is we have to know about the what about the CDMAs. So what we have to see in our previous lecture, we have to multiply this particular code word with input data, and after that we will receive the CDMA. Now there is another question, CDMA in DSSS environment, and what you have to know about the CDMA. In DSSS environment, there is also a different code word, and according to that, in CDMA technology, DSSS environment, there is also different code words is using, and all these code words are reaching to the receiving end. And according to that, which signal has a sufficient noise, it will be extracted by top priority. Now this is a 7 channel CDMA encoding and decoding part. There are also some problems are there in operating. So there is a 7 channel CDMA technology. So we are opting there are the different types of PN codes, channel data number system we have to generate it, and these are the channel 0 code and mix of these. So according to that, we will generate this type of waveforms. So we can see here, just see 0 or 1 is transmitted through the one port, 0 is again transmitted through the one port, 1 is again transmitted. So there are so many frequencies are required in the frequency hopping FFHS. We can also combine the pattern. So here the combined pattern is shown here. Now what about the objective question? So the processing gain is given as, what is the basic actual value of our processing gain? Chip is defined as, what is the chip? Processing gain is given. So what about the gain? What is the basic formula of that particular gain? Frequency hopping system, what type of modulation system it is preferred? Minimum spacing between the consecutive hop positions gives the, so that is the basically which type of demodulator is used in the frequency hopping techniques. You have to also know slow frequency hopping is, what about the slow frequency hopping, and what about the fast frequency hopping, because these are the, so that is the objective questions which we have to cover. So first of all, in this lecture, what we have to discuss, we have to discuss about the first thing is the why we are opting the spread spectrum technology. So by using the spread spectrum technology, we will spread our data, we will convert our data into below the noise level, and due to this, these low energy signals are easily transmitted through the channels. So there is a very high security features by using this. So there are two methods: DSSS, direct sequence spread spectrum, and the frequency hopping. In this lecture, we will discuss about the frequency hopping. Means either four symbols are transmitted through a one frequency, so that is a slow hopping, and then four frequency will be changed in the duration of one symbol, so that will be the fast hopping. These multiple frequencies are working at a time, so that is basically depend on that particular value. So that is the frequency hopping is used, so no one can detect, because in every symbol duration your frequency is changing two or three times, and there is a particular different combinations, and according to that we will choose over the frequency. So now this is basically, and apart from the FHSS, we will also focus on the CDMA technology. So as we have to know, in wireless communication system, CDMA technology is working very fast, and we can see that what about the CDMA code division multiple axis technique. So it is generally basically multiplexing part, and this type of technology, CDMA technology, in we have to use because code division multiple access. So these coded things, okay. So we have to work out on what will happen here when CDMA technology is applied. So these will also be applicable in the CDMA with DSSS, CDMA with FHSSS. So what about the CDMA? So these are the basic techniques by using. We have to allotted a different code words. So that is also a part of a spread spectrum technique. CDMA technique is also. So okay, thank you.